Who's that podcast walking down the street? It's mysteries. It's mysteries.
Who's that podcast looking into fog? It's us. It's us.
Say, who's that podcast looking into your windows?
It's us. It's us. It's us. That's some jive podcasting right there.
I'm the newly discovered Dave Stecco.
And I am the 500,000-year-old remains of David Flora.
Oh, beautiful. Recently unearthed.
Recently unearthed, long ago cemented.
Sealed away in a cavern, encapsulated.
And this is Blurry Photos.
We welcome you.
We do.
We do.
It's true.
It's not, that wasn't sarcasm.
No.
Nope. We do. We're glad you're here.
Glad you're here.
We're glad we're here. How the hell are you? You know, if it was possible, we'd just talk about you the whole time.
Because what's more mysterious than you?
Exactly. Unfortunately, the best we can do is respond to your emails and tweets.
That's
which
right.
we do our best job to do. That's how we learn about you. That and the window viewing we already covered. The window
viewing.
That's
is,
important.
Is,
big,
number one on the
big
list.
Big part of our research.
Hey.
Bahama Mama. Looking good.
Greg.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, swell. Annie, where you been?
Greg, you been going to the gym lately?
Hey,
no homo, but you're looking good.
I ain't no homo, but I think unicorns are pretty cool.
Yeah. Annie, love what you're doing for us.
Yeah, come back to us, Annie.
Yeah, we miss you.
Hey, anyway,
we've got a hell of an episode tonight.
I think we do.
Much like how I feel about what I think that there might be abdominal muscles locked somewhere away in my midsection. Mm-hmm. We're talking about today amazing artifacts.
Yes.
Things that shouldn't be there but are.
But are technically out-of-place artifacts.
Yeah.
Or, as they are wont to be called.
Nobody wants to call them this.
They do.
All right.
Whatever.
Say it.
OOPArts.
OOPArts.
OOPARTS, or out-of-place artifacts.
You know what? I'm just going to say artifacts because we're barely hanging to any credibility as it is. And every time we say OOPArts.
But, we don't have to say that. I thought I had a pun that relied on that, but I decided that poop arts was kind of out of the question for it.
I am not even joking that my hand was reaching for a pen to write down poop arts. And you stole it.
We are not denigrating ourselves
you're right,
to that level.
You're right.
We are better than poop arts. The place where you find all kinds of stuff in the sewer.
Oh, mine was going to be about finger painting. I was going to take it right to the basement. But you know what? It's about community art outreach. And when you don't fund art in schools, you have to finger paint with feces. Okay, I'm off the political soapbox.
Life finds a way. So, out-of-place artifacts are objects of historical or archeological or paleontological interest found in an unusual location or seemingly impossible context that might challenge conventional historical chronology.
Wow, that was a really, really well-placed sentence. That was amazingly crafted.
There were more words than I was expecting.
I'll tell you right off the top, I almost take umbrage to the phrase out-of-place artifact because that sounds boring. It sounds like you just lost one.
Oh.
But these are artifacts that have the potential to redefine history as we know it. And I don't mean like, maybe it could have been that Appomattox Courthouse wasn't the place where the no. I mean like our entire concept of who we are and where we came from. These are amazing artifacts.
Yeah. Now the term out-of-place artifact
Umbrage.
Exterminate was coined by the cryptozoologist Ivan T. Sanderson.
Ivan the Colonel. That's what the T stands for, is the Colonel.
The Colonel.
Sanderson.
Do you remember we talked about this dude in the Ley Lines episode?
Yeah.
I think we only talked about him to say this isn't the guy we're talking about.
Right. But
now it was Ivan P.
Now this is the guy we're talking about.
Now this is the guy we're talking about. This is the guy whose dad was killed by a rhinoceros.
Yeah.
This is a guy. He's creeping in here. He's doing some creepings on us. He's just sneaking up like a little sneaky snake.
We try to keep him out, but I'll tell you what, he gets right through them fences.
He gets through them. I think he burrows or something. He's a sneaky snake. But like, if he pops up again, then
Right.
he has forced his way into our.
Yeah. Then we must welcome him.
Yeah, we have to do a podcast on him. Anyway, he said the term out of place artifact, and the term is used mostly by cryptozoologists. It's also been picked up by young Earth creationists, proponents of ancient aliens, and paranormal enthusiasts. Not really in the mainstream, though.
No, but I'll say, just what you just said. Think of these three guys riding together in a car. You're like a fundamental hardcore creationist. You're an ancient alien conspiracist? That's not the right word.
Theorist?
Theorist. And a paranormal enthusiast. That's a road trip I'd like to be on.
Yeah.
As long as the creationist doesn't get to control the radio. That's my only rule.
Or drive. Because we'll be going 55 the whole night. Just kidding. Anyways, yeah, each one of these has picked it up. Not really guys that viewpoints line up, right?
Yeah, right.
Right? So...
But this is the thing that these are fascinating. These are just interesting. There is no one there's plenty of people who don't want to hear about ghosts. Mm-hmm. They could give a rat's ass about a ley line. But when you say there's this archaeological piece, this artifact that doesn't belong here, that is just interesting across the board.
Yeah.
And I think that's how you got those three guys in the car. I'm not letting go of the metaphor. I'm not going to do it.
I'm fine.
It is just fundamentally to anyone. Everyone wants to hear about. These are the mysteries that people like to hear about, that people are interested in, that they will keep them from changing the channel if they happen upon it on TV, and not even late night. I'm talking. This is the thing that makes you not see the second half of an episode of Friends. You like switch channels during the commercial break, and you're like, oh. So tell me more.
They discovered what? Where?
Yeah, exactly.
When?
I really went on a tear on that one, but sorry, keep going.
At least they're in a car.
Yeah.
What you should take away from this is all of them are in the car.
Yeah. It's a Ford Taurus.
And it's another theory thing that all these guys co-opt for their own ends and their own ideas and stuff. Which is funny, because how can you have opposing viewpoints and yet use the same thing for your evidence?
Yeah, exactly. It's a red flag when three very separate theories are all reaching for the exact same smoking gun.
Yeah. Now, a lot of these have been debunked as hoaxes. Some of them are just plain mistaken interpretation. Mm-hmm. A lot of them are wishful thinking.
Right.
And some of them are legitimately unexplained.
And then I think there's another category that kind of filters through a lot of these, of willfully ignoring facts about it.
Sure.
People who believe very strongly in whatever their position is. This is the closest thing they have to evidence. So all they're going to what we ran into, what I certainly did, I ran into account after account with very selective. Anyone who's done an internet search for anything, you kind of know how information comes at you. You get like the weird stories, and if you follow it enough, if you go through enough links, you can get back to like the initial news report or the initial paper or the source of that. Mm-hmm. And it's this awful retroactive betrayal, because when you get to the source, you realize how selective your initial representation was. The first thing you see how off that is. And you can kind of use that to gauge how badly that person wanted it to be true.
Oh, yeah.
And in this, this is the most true I've seen. And we've covered a lot of things that people have an iron in that fire. People have a dog in that fight. But this one, you see how selective people are in the facts that they want to release to bolster their viewpoint.
Yeah. And the first people that will probably come at you in this search for truth are the creationists. Mm-hmm. Now, creationists obviously are the people that believe that the Earth is 6,000 years old. They take the book of Genesis and the Bible very literally, mm-hmm. and they think that everything was created as it says in the Bible in the amount of days and the amount of time.
6 days of labor, 1 day of rest.
Yep. They take these out-of-place artifacts and they use them as evidence for themselves to challenge the scientific chronologies and models of human evolution, in particular.
Mm-hmm. And I don't want to seem like I'm repeating, but just to establish a baseline here, the fundamental creationist view is that the earth was created and people were upon it. The man created Adam, and then he got lonely, so...
God created Adam.
What did I say?
You said man created Adam.
I skipped to the end. No, okay, we'll cut it. Okay. God created Adam. Adam was lonely. Pinched a couple of ribs off him. Decided to grow himself a lady times. And boosh. So now the entirety of the earth is put there for man to subjugate. Mm-hmm. He has command over it. And so from a creationist standpoint, anything we find a bone for, i.e. dinosaurs, were living concurrent with man. Because man, it was all put there for man. Man was created nigh instantaneously, not on the first day, but within the first week, we got some man running amok. Running amok there. So there is a real need to establish man being on Earth for a very long time. Mm-hmm. Because that's what ties it all together. You can't have a Cenozoic. You can't have a Cretaceous. Mm-hmm. You can't have a mass extinction and there's marmosets running around everywhere and nothing bigger than that. That doesn't fit into the narrative.
You can't have even 1 million years, let alone 65 million years.
Right. So it's
let alone there's 6 billion years.
Yeah, it just gets bigger.
What is it? Is it 4 or 6? How old the Earth is?
I think it's 6. Fun fact, not necessarily apropos of our discussion, but do you know that we live chronologically? We are closer to the Tyrannosaurus Rex than the Stegosaurus was to the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because Stegosaurus lived in what, Jurassic or Triassic? And T-Rex was in Cretaceous. And
all right, let's go over the rules for fun facts, okay?
Right,
It's not like I have a thesis that I'm reading through right here, okay? I remembered the prescient points. I think dinosaurs are awesome, and that's kind of where I stepped off the train. I don't know the different regions. I know to say words like Cenozoic to bolster my feeling of personal self-worth. But I don't know anything beyond that.
I defined my childhood as a dinosaur lover, so...
oh, see? Good. Why am I talking then?
Oh. Anyway.
Testify.
But now I can't remember if Jurassic or Triassic came first.
Some childhood dinosaur lover.
Well, you're right.
It's embarrassing when you lie about your childhood.
I didn't lie. I just forgot. I moved on to things that were pertinent.
So that's my point, is that there is a very great motivation to establish
some evidence for their claims, right?
Yeah, there's a real motivation to establish the permanence of man. Mm-hmm. That man has been and always will be around. That's my point.
Yeah, and apparently it supports religious descriptions of prehistory, or what they call antediluvian history, which is antediluvian is before the deluge or the flood of Noah, right?
That's opposed to antediluvian history, in which there is no time machines. Yeah, right. You get that one for free.
The antediluvian time period is kind of a catch-all that a lot of these creationists use to refer to any old ancient period ever.
Yeah. Whenever you hear an anecdote that starts, in earliest times, the phrase "earliest times," that's what you're dealing with.
What in antediluvian times could be Victorian England. Who knows?
Right.
No,
but it isn't.
It couldn't. No. Anyway, Egyptian, yes, but in these times, they believe people lived longer for hundreds of years.
Significantly longer, yeah.
They believe there were up to maybe 500 million humans at one time, at the height of it, maybe. They believe there was no clouds and there was no rain.
Nope.
They believe in giants walking the earth, as described by the Bible, and huge beasts, like they call there's a behemoth and a leviathan. Mm-hmm. And this is they use these out of place artifacts that they find or that are found to say, look, it proves that there was this period of history before the flood, that men was living in wickedness, and that's why God came down and saved Noah and one, a pair of each animal.
Now, I don't know if we brought this up before in the podcast. I don't know if it's ever been germane, but I grew up pretty fundamentalist Christian myself, and not even the rest of my family, just me. I was really into it, and I had some creationist textbooks. I mean, I was a born again and
we
pretty,
did say something about that in one episode. I forget which one.
I was a pretty righteous firebrand at the time, and I remember a lot of this. The belief that there was a canopy, an extra almost atmospheric layer
of ice.
No, of water.
Oh, okay.
Potentially ice. That what it did is it not only protected the Earth, but it also increased the oxygen pressure.
Sure.
So there was a lot more oxygen, and it's sort of this is the creationist scientific approach to why it's believed that Noah was in the range of 900 years old, and then the flood being that this canopy collapsed, and that is where all of this water came from. That the Grand Canyon was carved in a matter of days or weeks. In this enormous amount of water, and we're going to talk about coal. Coal's important today, but that the formation of coal, that all of this biomass, trees, animals that were drowned in the flood, that were suddenly dragged under and buried by fine silt. That's where we're getting our fossil fuels, coal and oil. But that science has it all wrong, that this wasn't a slow process of millions of years. This was a cataclysm, and it was formed very quickly. And so what we're talking about today, some of these out-of-place artifacts are cited as proof. Not to tip our hand too much, but there are claims that a person will break open a piece of coal, and out of it will fall an iron pot or a brass bell, something that is unequivocally man-made inside of a piece of rock that is supposed to be 300 million years old.
Yeah, man. There's all kinds of stuff that creationists say how the Earth existed, how it was made, everything, that it was literally made in 6 days, and how you had day and night. But then later you had the sun and the moon created. Now, I'm not going to sit here and go over creationism versus evolution and all that stuff. That's another podcast that...
someone else can do.
Yeah, someone else can do that. Good grief. But my question is, how does having an out-of-place artifact, how does that support a young Earth theory in that respect?
Well, there's two approaches to it that I heard growing up, and it depends on if you're capital F fundamentalist or lowercase f fundamentalist. It's not a real distinction, I just made that up, but a very just rock foundation literalist interpretation of the Bible. What a person would do with that is say, oh, well, we found this clearly man-made artifact inside of a lump of coal, and so your science, your radiocarbon dating you're so in love with, says this is 300 million years old. But the rest of your science says that's not possible. So your science is broken and wrong and the Earth is 6,000 years old. The other version I've heard for this kind of seeks to, more of a compromising version, says we open this thing, the rock that surrounds it is 300 million years old. So maybe, when God showed man, because God himself didn't write the Bible, men wrote the Bible, but it was, as Scripture tells us, is God breathed.
Yeah.
When God made this known to man, he would put it into terms as best he could. He would be seeing all this amazing imagery, and he would say, oh, well, this happened in a day, and this happened in a day. So you get into a more interpretational, you're moving farther from a fundamentalist, a literalist interpretation of the Bible to more of a man would see these images as a day, when really it could have been millions of years. And that's an attempt to kind of stitch a still creationist, still a theocentric theory to account for a verified date for the Earth.
Yeah.
So that, Please don't anyone think that I'm the authority on all things Christian, but there was, 14-year-old me was way smarter about it than now me.
It's funny because I never saw anything that addressed things like Göbekli Tepe or the Temple at Baalbek, that these structures that are, supposedly 10 to 12,000 years old, which kind of predate when they say the Earth was created and stuff. But then again, like you just said, well, your science is wrong.
Well, and let me take this approach. I mean, when you adopt the creationist viewpoint, which is your right to do, but, the majority of the evidence is working against you. So in order to stay combative, in order to argue this, you have to float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. To double Bible this, you're in a kind of David and Goliath scenario because, yeah, I did it. Because you are taking the underdog position.
You're using the Bible to bolster the Bible.
Oh, yes, he did.
Yes, he did.
And this is what this is what I was talking about earlier about a selective culling of facts. When you start with a conclusion and work your way backwards, you can pretend that you're doing science all you want, but you're not. Yeah. And so what happens is these people take these very specific examples of something that is unknown or poorly understood, or is, we're going to talk about today, in a lot of cases, just a fake.
Yeah.
And you present that as, this is my refutation. I found one item that is I'm going to use to refute the 492 billion items you've found.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's a court case. You're establishing reasonable doubt.
Sure.
And so that's what I mean. Like, you have to stick and move when you adopt a less popular position, especially something like a creationist viewpoint, and you attempt to argue on the grounds of science. You try to fight science in its own home stadium. You have to be nimble and fast, and you have to just pick very specific things and throw them very hard.
Yeah, that's true. Now,
man, that was like a metaphor on top of an analogy.
I liked it. It was like a shepherd's pie of explanation.
It's just the top of the potatoes were just golden brown.
And the peas were just the right consistency and texture. Oh, it's sitting so well in my tummy right now. Mm-hmm. Hey, so they also say dinosaurs were what the legends and the tales refer to as dragons.
Yes.
So that explained how man and dinosaur lived together.
Yep, and we did discuss there was a book of the Bible that was not included in the Council of Nicaea. When they chose that, one of the books that was omitted had an account of Jesus fighting a, quotes, dragon. This is the second time I'll say it. Why would you leave Jesus fighting a dragon out?
Yep.
It not only bolsters Genesis, it also is awesome.
Wonder how he did it.
Oh man!
I wonder if he went like the simple route. I haven't read this particular book or passage, but I'm imagining him as like, a Middle Eastern Van Helsing or something like that, where he's got like the little wooden crosses, but they're also like he throws them like shurikens or something at the dragon, and
at that point
he uses a whip.
Does the little wooden crosses, is that just foreshadowing?
Damn it, you're right. Oh, I mean, Jesus would know, but like
he didn't know.
Okay, he didn't know. He didn't know. He just knew it was coming at some point. All right. God.
Well, actually, whenever you say the Son of the God, there's a party that has to know something's coming.
What would he use? What would be his weapon of choice? A hammer?
He was a carpenter,
right? A hammer and what else? I think a whip. I think Jesus is a whip guy.
All right. That's a T-shirt that's available for $19.99. Jesus is a whip guy.
Fighting a dragon with a whip and a hammer?
Yeah.
That's a movie.
Right.
You can make that. Probably get struck by lightning at some point during it. Oh, man.
The point being that, some cool stuff was left out or decided not to be in accordance. But it does sort of bolster that idea of the continuity. Now, rather than discuss the theology of why this happens. Let's get to some candy. Let's talk about some cool things
Yeah.
humans have found.
Well, I tell you what, I can't leave out, since we're talking about the creationists, I can't leave out the ancient
the candy
astronauts
has to
guys.
wait, people.
The candy, I mean, the store's right there. You see the employees inside. They just have to unlock the door. It's all right.
You're going to be all right.
You'll be all right. Listen, the ancient astronauts theory states that intelligent extraterrestrials have visited Earth in prehistory, and they made contact with humans, influencing the cultures and the technology and the religions they're in, right? The evidence for this includes legends from different cultures, artwork, and they are claiming some of these out-of-place artifacts. Mm-hmm. And it still does the same basic thing. It's challenging the conventional history chronologically that we have.
And I'll say this: we do make an effort to really try to bring you the weirder things, the things that are not often discussed in the realm of the mysterious. I would like to do an Ancient Aliens podcast, if only to just step into the ring against that asshat on the History Channel.
The guy with the hair?
Yeah.
Saropoulos or Sarpolo?
Whatever.
He doesn't have a name.
Not going to work here anymore. That's how you pronounce it.
What? I mean, I appreciate that the guy is bringing stuff like this to the masses, but why does he have to style his hair like that?
It's probably not up to him, but I mean, but he's still cashing the paycheck. I just think we should do Ancient Aliens because it's interesting.
Yeah.
It dovetails nicely with what we're talking about here.
Sure.
And I would like to have us do it rather than that jackass.
Yeah. Our hair will look much better.
That's right. P.S. If you're listening to us, asshat, we'll fight you. We'll fight you however you want.
Name the time, the place, and the weapons.
Instead of emails from now on, we're just going to go through a list of people we're willing to fight.
I bet that guy's a whip guy. I bet he uses a whip.
Whoa. You a whip guy? Because we don't do that.
We don't fight whip guys. Those things can take down dragons.
Now, what about the third passenger in our car here?
Oh, the paranormal... I don't know. Paranormal people think everything and nothing. I mean, how are you going to...
Yeah, I get you. Ancient curse on a kid. He tries to touch the bell. The bell goes into a block of coal, and we're done.
Yeah,
all right.
That's how you do it. I mean, go back to our ghost taxonomy and listen to the part about the Dybbuk, and there you go.
Right. Perfect.
Anyway, so now the store's open.
Yes.
I'm unlocking the door and open it up, and you can just shove everything in your face right now.
What's the first thing we'll be tasting today, David?
Well, let's talk about the Dropa stones.
Yes!
The Dropa stones are a series of 716 stone discs discovered in 1938 in Tibet. They are about 9 inches in diameter. They have spiral engravings from a center hole to the outer rim of them. They kind of look like vinyl records in a way, if you think about it that way. Hieroglyph markings were found in the spiral grooves. And later, they were translated to say aliens had crashed in that region 12,000 years ago and were killed by the locals there.
Oh, man. E.T. was for real.
Yeah, and he was not accepted. This has apparently been debunked.
Debunked, like with a sledgehammer.
Yeah, as being fabricated completely by a British author by the name of David Gammon.
Who we will also fight.
If he's still alive, your ass is ours. 1978, in correlation with the...
We'll wake him up! I'm here for you, Gammon.
Wake him up, set him on fire so he writhes. Don't sever his tendons. That makes him look like he's got some fight left. All right. What? It's the Rasputin. All right. So he wrote this book called Sun Gods in Exile.
That was dark. Okay, we apologize to the family of David Gammon.
Is he dead? I don't know that he's dead.
He better be.
He better wish he was.
If he knows what's good for him, he'll be dead.
You're gonna wish you were dead, Gavin.
Gavin! Okay, we're done. Keep it moving. Keep it going.
So he wrote a book, Sun Gods in Exile, and it was sort of this was to corroborate the book basically, and that's
I rented a movie by that title that had nothing to do with spiral discs.
Sun Gods in Exile.
It was on late night cable.
Weak. So Dropa stones, but plenty of people still think Dropa stones are real. I don't know.
Just ask someone at the grocery store. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, them's is for real."
Oh yeah, they have Dropa stones. So that's that. Let's go into our next one, huh?
Yeah, keep them coming.
Crystal skulls.
Oh man, those I love this. This is a thing that people thought was real, and like so many things, George Lucas finally killed it.
R.I.P. Indiana Jones. Crystal skulls. Yeah, these are human skulls that are carved into quartz, basically the crystal quartz. They're claimed to be pre-Columbian Mesoamerican, and evidence of more advanced stone cutting skills than were available at the time they were supposedly carved.
Right.
And they're supposed to have paranormal properties to them.
Now, Greg Bach, how many supposes have you heard in that sentence? Because I know you're keeping track. The answer is 7.
The thing is, specimens that were made available for scientific study of these skulls show that they were probably manufactured in the mid-19th century.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, people that own them or said to have discovered them and stuff kind of took it to their grave, claiming they were paranormal and they had all these properties that were supernatural and stuff. But when it came down to it, when a real legitimate scientist got one in his hands,
which I get the feeling that was at the end of a very long chain of it was just right here. Hold on, let me go get it. Yeah, no, it's not there.
I thought he was going to get in the old car and drive off.
No, I'm not ever doing the Winslow bit again. Michael Winslow. The sound effects guy from the Police Academy.
Never doing that? All right.
Well, I mean, it's going to have to be a really good reason.
I guess they didn't have cars back then.
Right.
My bad. Got on the horse and took...
Don't you dare.
So, crystal skulls.
Yep.
Here's one.
Moving on. Fart sound.
Here's one, the Kensington Rune Stone.
Oh, yeah, they sound so interesting. Kensington.
The Kensington Rune Stone. I stayed at the Kensington Rune Stone when I was visiting Mama.
Lovely.
This is a 200-pound stone slab that's covered in Scandinavian runes, and it was found in 1898 in Solem, Minnesota.
Yeah, and not going to lie to you. There's not a lot of mystery coming out of Minnesota, with the exception of its occasional wrestler gubernatorial choices.
Right. Who would probably also put the kibosh on this one pretty fast.
Right, yeah.
It claims that Scandinavian explorers reached the middle of North America in the 14th century. This is well before anybody was supposed to have come and explored.
Now, just because I mess this up all the time, keep in mind that the 14th century is the 1300s.
Right.
That messes me up all the time, just putting it out there.
Now, the thing about old Kensington Runestone, runologists, there are people who study runes, and Scandinavian linguists consider it a hoax due in large part to the translation being more common to 19th century Swedish than 14th century Swedish.
Yeah, if you're going to make a hoax stone, don't forget to put the these and thous in there. Don't say ain't, and definitely leave LOL off of the end of it.
And don't end half of your sentences with right, question mark.
Winky face?
Ye old emoticon.
Yeah.
So that's the Kensington Runestone.
Yeah. Moving on.
So that's three that we've brought up and set back down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, you guys. We're on a scale here,
and we've got a lot of work to get through here. We got a lot of dreams to crush. So,
But we're getting less crushy as we go along.
Right.
Just know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Know that we organizationally we're building to something here. We are starting with the lowest of the rotten fruits and moving up to the sweetest of the
rotten fruits.
I was going to say ripened.
Oh, sorry. The ripest of the rotten fruits.
Let's talk about the Akambaro figures.
Okay.
Now these bad boys, they're small ceramic figurines. They were found in Mexico.
Okay.
I mean, in the city, man.
Where in Mexico?
You bastard. All right. They were found in Guanajuato. Oh, I did it!
That sounds right.
From the 3-point line. Guanajuato.
That's a Reggie Miller shot right there.
Yeah, right. They're ceramic figures, and they were little dinosaurs.
Oh.
And that someone had made little tiny dinosaurs. And
dinosaurs.
Yeah, where did you get that idea? And so again, the creationists say, well, of course they saw dinosaurs because they
were riding them.
Everyone was riding a dinosaur home from work.
They had giant dinosaur ribs placed on their car that was foot powered every night at the drive-in.
They had begrudging birds whose beaks actually played their phonographs, and then when no one was watching, they'd go, "It's a living." And just so as quickly as these dinosaur-shaped ceramic figures popped up, they were once again crushed by a guy who went to college and was like, "Nope."
What did he say? What was the excuse for those?
His exact phrase was, "Nope." Huh?
Oh, then that lays all speculation to rest.
Oh no, I mean, like, these things got thrown out in the first pass. The exact quote is, "There is no reliable evidence of the validity of these items." There's no credible scholar has any reason whatsoever to believe that these are for real.
Yeah, that's kind of a hard thing because you can't really date the material because the material could be super old.
Right.
But if there's no other, if other tribes and stuff and civilizations are making anything, even close to that, then...
That is the delicious story of the Akambaro figures.
From Guanajuato, Mexico? Is that what it was?
Okay. It was. You know what? You bastard.
Guanajuato?
Huge
iguana, Mexico?
It was huge iguana. Guanajuato.
Yeah.
Mexico. Debunked sound.
Oh, you want a real one, or do you want me to do it?
No, we need a debunked sound.
All right, debunked sound. Yeah, enough of that.
Oh my God. It's like, that's a faith-destroying sound. It's like you just want to just stay in bed all day and stare at the wall.
Am I going to have to retroactively do the 3 that we talked about before that?
No.
All right.
Because people can't hear the sound that many times and still believe in tomorrow.
I got bad news for you. We got a lot of things next one, the wolf sag iron.
Oh, man. I have chock full of questions about this because... So you go, and then I will just fire off.
Okay. This is a small cuboid mass of iron thought to be from the Tertiary epoch in a 20-million-year-old coal seam. They found this huge hunk of, well, not huge. They found this little hunk of iron that's sort of cube in shape, but had a couple of convex sides. They kind of ruled out, though, that it's more than likely it was used as a ballast in mining machinery that was used in the same machinery that was mining
the coal?
The coal, and just kind of fell out before its, quote, discovery.
I have no idea why this is a thing.
I don't either.
Because
if you look at a picture of it, it looks like just a huge hunk of mottled crap.
Right. It's just a chunk of iron, and like, there's, again, with my theory, the thread that I'm pulling through this whole podcast of willfully ignoring evidence you don't want.
Yeah.
There are claims that this thing, oh no, it's a perfect cube. That thing is as perfect a cube as the microphone I'm speaking into right now.
Well,
which is not a cube.
It's as perfect a cube as a violin as a cube.
Yeah, it is. It is nowhere in the Tri-County area of cubes.
And it's a big area.
Yeah. If a cube was the bright center of the galaxy, then this thing is Tatooine.
Nice.
Yeah, this is not any lightsaber sound. Thank you, David.
If cubes were the droids you're looking for...
I'm going to go so far as to say it is repugnant that this is a mystery. It's like tearing a page out of a book and saying, I just got a letter from Jesus.
Let's throw on more metaphors and similes. How about we do that?
They didn't hear all the other ones. You killed those. You got rid of them. The Wolf's Egg Iron is just the biggest dill ever. It's just stupid. I declare it stupid. Stupid sound. Because you're not doing enough work with this episode.
How about those Klerksdorp spheres?
You had me at Klerksdorp.
I know. Yep. I had myself at Klerksdorp. These are small spherical or disc-shaped objects found in 3 billion-year-old pyrophyllite deposits in South Africa.
They are not perfectly spherical. Again, just like the cube, it is reported to be perfectly. It is not. It's not.
Right.
It's nowhere near it.
Some of them have latitudinal grooves or ridges along them. They kind of look like mini Death Stars themselves.
They do.
Speaking
or
of.
bocce balls.
Yeah.
If someone was terrible at making balls. They're bocce burls.
Bocce bars. Oh my god, birchy burls.
They're a third the price. Who needs to roll things?
Just hit them.
Yeah.
They've been debunked as actual natural formations or concretions. Others that are less spherical, and pretty decidedly less spherical, have been found and explained away.
Right, and because if it's less round, then it's more easy to believe, and so
just like in real life.
Yeah, they're no. I mean, like the closer something is to being irregular, the weirder something is, the more you're investing into it. You're like, oh no, this means something. Oh no, the other 75 I've found of these, those are weird and just whatever. That's just what dirt does. But this one
is perfect.
Yeah, this one was looked upon.
I mean, what the hell could it be if it were man-made?
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna let the creationists sit this one out, and it's the ancient alien theorist I'm talking to right now. So, what do the Palladians bring to us? Just a bunch of round rocks,
ball bearings.
Yeah. Hey, open the cargo hatch and throw these at those assholes down there.
Jettison.
These'll hurt.
Yeah. Well, musket balls? I don't know.
It's fine because, you know what? Whatever got the Palladians from dropping clay bombs on people to becoming psychic night sex slaves. So,
let them have it.
Right. Whatever got them to where they are. I don't judge the path they took.
No.
Because it brought them to me.
How about the Bygong pipes?
You know what? Those have fascinated the hell out of me, and this one actually hurt a little. Yeah. I love the Bygone pipes. It's something that I always thought was really cool, and now that I learned about them, it sucks. This was a thing that I loved and believed in, and I thought, oh my god, there's something really cool there, and now it's gone.
These we're starting to get into the forest a little bit here.
Yeah, at least these are the things that, like, a researcher, like, they had to work to figure out what the hell was going on.
Yeah. Now, the Bygong pipes are a series of pipe-like features found on and near Mount Bygong in Tibet, basically, in China.
Whoa. That's China.
Well, yeah.
They send people after you if you fuck that up.
Poor Tibet. Located in caves, they lead to a nearby salt lake, and they've been dated to about 140 to 150,000 years old.
And just at first blush, just think about that. This implies plumbing from a lake to a cave somehow.
Yeah.
this one hurt me. Usually I'm okay with it, but I didn't realize how much I love the bygone pipes. I'm pissed about this.
They're made of a lot of iron.
There's a huge amount of iron in them, which made people think they were functionally iron pipes.
Right, among some other stuff. But the thing that kept sticking people up, they could be natural formations, which people have found similar things in places like Utah and Louisiana, actually, in the United States.
And if Utah has it, then it's not special at all.
And some people have said, well, maybe they're magma shafts or geyser chutes. And that theory kind of went by the wayside because there's so many oil fields around there.
By the way, both magma shaft and geyser chute are comic books we're writing. They're superheroes, and you can't have them. They're copyrighted.
Wait till they get a hot blast of me.
When goes down in the mantle, there's only one man you can call. Magma shaft.
Magma shaft! Can you dig it?
Oh, that's it! Can you dig it? Oh, we are so clever.
Some people also say, well, maybe they're iron-rich. They were formed by iron-rich runoffs from floods, which is kind of that holds some water. Yeah, you can have that pun, but still, ultimately,
no, it's not the truth. Petrified roots.
Ugh.
They're roots. It makes sense, and they have a huge iron content, and the centers of them hollowed out. They're roots, just petrified wood, which is still cool.
Yeah,
it's just not plumbing. And man, there's nothing cooler than plumbing.
How about this one? One of my favorites, the Baghdad Battery.
Oh, no. Everyone has heard of this.
The Baghdad Battery is a vase and rods that was made in what is now Iraq. Mm-hmm. And it seems to have the ability to generate an electrical charge.
Yeah,
which predates the inventor Volta's electrochemical cell by more than 1,000 years.
Right. So an ancient battery.
Mm-hmm. People argue to this day about what it was used for.
Now we're getting out of the clear bullshit into the muddy water.
Yeah.
He loves that muddy water.
People, this is I think is funny. They think it could have been used for electroplating gold.
Yeah,
which makes sense for the Egyptians. They call it the Baghdad Battery. It was found in what is Iraq, but people are equating it also to Egyptians, saying that the Egyptian culture had use of this stuff too, since they had a love of gold and all that stuff.
Yeah, since people liked gold, people liked things that look like gold.
Yeah, so they were thinking, well, one of these could have made the gold be able to, for all intents and purposes, be sprayed on to things. That's the electroplating. But there's no conclusive evidence that was the case
whatsoever.
Or that anything was actually electroplated. It could have. One of the biggest theories of this is that it could have been used for light bulbs, as depicted in stone reliefs of the Hathor temple at the Dendera temple complex in Egypt. And it's called the Dendera Light, this relief. It shows a lotus flower spawning a snake surrounded by some kind of encasement, held up by a small pillar. Mm-hmm. And there's what looks like a little cord that's connected to an object, which I think they're guessing is this Baghdad Battery.
All right, I'm going to give you a high five for stitching those two together.
Okay.
While you're distracted by that, I'm going to punch you in the nuts for stitching those two together. The Baghdad Battery may or may not have been a battery. May have just been a confluence.
Yeah.
That's what I actually enjoy the mysterious nature of it. But attaching that to the Dendera light, the Dendera light is not a light. That is a completely reasonable explanation. It is a mythological depiction of a pillar and a lotus flower, like you said, with a snake within it. And it's just classic Egyptian mythology. It's the pillar is a symbol of stability. It's like the backbone of their gods. And the lines that are coming out to it are they're human arms. They're holding the thing up, and as if this pillar were their backbone, that the god is their backbone. In looking, like I'm actually looking at the the hieroglyphic, the image of this light bulb, would make the light bulb what, 15 feet long? You're gonna plug that into a jar.
This is saying that the Egyptians have perspective down to a T. Because
Actually,
look, there are other
they're like the
human
most
figures.
two-dimensional people on Earth. They win perspective by abdicating it.
But they carved things bigger that had more importance also.
True.
So like people on there that were less important were carved smaller than people who had more importance, and objects, etc.
Yeah, I don't buy that whatsoever. I think I don't think those two tack together. I like the battery. I think that's very possible. A guy put that together, but the output of a battery that size is never going to fire a bulb, and that's our bulbs. That's a well-made bulb with a tungsten filament. Let alone I don't even know what is the extent of Egyptian glass blowing technology.
I don't know.
Nobody does.
But
Actually,
it
lots
looks
of people do. They're just not us.
Looks like a pretty crappily made bulb, so could be pretty crappily made glass blowing. I would lean I lean towards there being some sort of light producing thing. If it's not a glass bulb, whatever. But I like the idea that because they find these tombs and stuff where there are no scorch marks from any torches or anything along the walls, and the copper mirroring that they reflect sunlight off of can only get you so far.
But to that end, we found the copper mirrors, but we've never found the remnant of a giant light bulb, or even a place where a giant light bulb would be socketed or set or placed.
But then again, how do we know what we're looking for? If we're looking for a Edison-type bulb, we're not going to find it there, I'm sure.
But this is a depiction of an Edison-type bulb.
Not necessarily, though. We don't know. It's a lotus flower with a snake coming out that's encapsulated with something. When I look at it, I see the snake being the light. I don't see... It's a representation of something. I don't see Egyptian mythology. Where in Egyptian mythology does the snake come out of a lotus encapsulated in something, unless it's just sperm that's going all over the place?
Right? Well, you got real Freudian on that.
And why
wipe the jizz off your argument?
I shall not, sir.
It shall what I mean.
Anyway, I don't know. The fact that hangs me up on it is that, as far as I know, it's only at this temple complex that shows anything like this, for one thing. But then there's evidence that's, to me, equally weighted in that, there's no, like I said, scorch marks. This battery can, they said, get up to 9 volts if you hook a couple together. And it was powered with grape juice or lemon juice, anything that had
acid.
That acidic content. It's very feasible that... they've recreated this is the thing. They've recreated it easily and gotten very satisfactory results.
Right. The battery, I have no beef with battery. Battery, 100%
Battery's
on
cool,
board
man. Battery's cool.
This Denderolite, this just wish to sweet baby Jesus that it was a light bulb. I just can't. I don't have it. I'm not into it.
I in my research, I found something that said Zechariah Sitchin, our old friend, recreated this thing just like that. Put a piece of glass and charge it up with a battery like this and got it to work. But that was I didn't pay much attention at the time because I was ripping through some of the research.
Right. If they so wanted, MIT could make a robotic horse. That doesn't retroactively make horses robots.
Yeah. So this one to me is one of the cooler.
Yeah, I get you. Let's call that a split decision.
All right. So speeding through here, I got the Dorchester pot.
Dorchester,
Mass. It's a metal vase-like object that was blasted out of rock.
It's a pot. Say it.
Blasted out of rock, 570 to 593 million years old in Dorchester, Mass.
Points to the pot for getting blasted out of rock and not breaking.
Oh, it broke. Sorry. It broke into 2 pieces.
Oh,
Points
were
redacted.
revoked, yep. You, Pot! You candy ass breaker! In my neighborhood, if someone blasted you out of rock, you blasted them out of rock.
You dirty whore pot. Who told you could pack here?
Sorry, Dorchester, but you earned it.
The funny thing about this thing is, I mean, it was in rock that was, almost 600 million years old. People were going all crazy for it. It's a wicked, awesome find. But here's the deal. It looked just like pipe holders from the same time period.
Wicked pisser.
Oh, you whore.
I'm so glad I got to say wicked pisser.
Yeah, it's pretty... What would you say?
It's just did this get blasted out of this rock? What's easier to believe? It got blasted out of millions-of-year-old rock, or that it's just a pipe holder?
Or it just fell in, or someone just said...
Right.
It came out of this rock. I dropped this and it broke.
Paul, get over here.
What is it?
You'll never believe what I just saw fall out of this rock.
Is that a pot?
It's a pipe holder, Paul.
I saw one of those things yesterday.
No. Shut up. This came out of the rock. I just
you
blew
sure?
up.
Because the old battle axe had one of these things back.
Listen, you take that thing home, my wife's gonna fucking kill me.
You got to cover for me, man. Glue hasn't been invented yet.
Never let us do an accent. Don't give us anything.
Dorchester pot.
Yeah. Oh, man. Okay. Everyone, take a sip of water.
All right, yeah.
Swish it around. Take a deep breath in.
Out through the mouth.
Because the bullshit train is over.
We got off the bullshit train in Dorchester.
Yeah. Have fun on your fucking idiot train,
you dirty whore.
You stupid bastards.
We can't get out of Dorchester.
Can we just call this episode Let's Dump on Dorchester? No, this is I want to make abundantly clear that you are now stepping through the hallowed gates of verifiable fact.
Yes.
That
awesome artifact.
Yeah. This is the real deal. This is the reason why you're interested. This is the genuine article that blows your mind out your ass.
This is the Antikythera mechanism.
Bless you.
Ooh. Antikythera mechanism recovered in 1901 off of a Greek island. Here's a tip. It was named Antikythera, the island.
Yeah, they did that for you.
And it's fragments of an ancient analog computer designed to calculate astronomical positions.
And this thing is exquisite. I mean, it's very easy to find. People have done recreations of it.
Yeah. And you have to do recreations because this thing's...
It's a giant chunk of verdigris at this point.
It was found on the sea floor.
Yeah.
It got wrecked, right? It had at least 30 bronze gears and was more complex than a modern watch. It's dated to about 100 BCE, maybe even made by Archimedes himself.
Yeah, there was plenty of literature available that makes reference to such a thing.
Yeah.
But obviously exceedingly rare. And just to put this into perspective, the ability to make something like this, again, 100 years BC, the next time that anyone on the planet has the know-how and the wherewithal to put this together is in the 1300s.
Right.
Over a millennia ahead of its time.
And
I'll give you a moment to close your mouth.
Yeah, this thing told you what astrological sign was currently the day.
It was full of porn.
What?
I don't know.
Because it's a computer?
Yeah.
It told you the sign currently or
Yep.
even, what
The astrological,
day
the astrological sign.
It told the phase of the moon. It told the calendar day. It could tell you what was upcoming when eclipses would happen. This thing was pretty legit.
Yeah, it was an enormously sophisticated piece of work. It just absolutely astounding that this thing existed.
Yeah, and for a while, people couldn't recreate it.
Right.
I think even Leonardo couldn't put this thing together. But yeah, so many people could not put this thing together until, more modern technology and computers could actually graph it out.
And even Jacques Cousteau himself went back to that site to try to find more pieces. Failed. Way to go, Jacques.
Couldn't find any more, but good on you. Yeah, this thing is it's what we're looking for. I wouldn't call it an out-of-place artifact, though, because it was Greek in design, and it was found around Greece. To me, that's not out of place. But what it does...
But why is that it? Why is that the only thing you see for 1,400 years?
Yeah, but that's what it does. It completely rearranges your perspective of human capacity, basically, and skill.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. This is the fun thing about this find, is that you can then... There's a part of you that can now look back on everything else we've discussed in this podcast and say, well, why not?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't there be batteries and light bulbs?
Yeah.
Because this guy beat the curve by 1,400 years, man.
And the battery, like we said, was at least 1,000 years before its time, right?
Yeah.
So, I think it's stupid to make the argument that, well, we're smarter now because we have all this technology. The people back then using stone tools. Oh, God.
I mean, it is literally an iPhone in the hands of a Roman soldier.
Yeah.
I mean, you unearth the grave of a Roman soldier, and he's holding an iPhone in his hand.
Yeah. I just think it's stupid to say these people's brains
Well, technically that'd be a one phone, because it's Roman.
Yes.
Yeah.
God. I think it's stupid to say that humans, their brains weren't capable of stuff like this when they have the same fucking brains that we have right now.
Exactly.
It's the height of arrogance to say that someone couldn't come up with this stuff at that time. Art, in my opinion, was better then.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. People can make stuff now and everything, but it's annoying to think that we are the height of civilization right now.
Exactly. And I think this is such a great tool for kind of gaining perspective. And you're absolutely right. You get someone who comes along who has such a different perspective that can not only conceive of, but can arrange to have built something this spectacular.
Yeah.
And it does. It does changes your perspective on history. It changes on your perspective on people's capabilities. And it makes you think, why not? Like, what are the other things that were built once and lost?
Yeah. Go back, Tepe.
Right. It's mind blowing and disappointing, but also weirdly encouraging that at least we found it again.
I think it's important that we found these puns that we're
holding
right
man,
now.
I am so excited about the puns that I've found.
Who wants to fire
do.
I'll fire first then. All right, I have a Star Trek memorabilia store.
Okay.
Called the Captain Kirksdorp Spheres.
I hate you so much for that. That's okay. I think I can return the favor. Okay.
Can you put it back in my court?
Yeah.
All right.
In 2007, an archeological team in outside of Guadalajara, Mexico, cracked open a large block of limestone on accident, and out of it fell the album Doggy Style on CD by Snoop Dogg. And thus was born the archaeological phenomena of the OOPArts. Not like the OOPArts. This is OOPArts. Yeah, that's how you fight a pun, with the OOPArts.
Gosh, we're gonna set the record today.
Mm-hmm.
So I have, based on the old Dropa stones that we talked about, I have a store of all things Catholic called the Popa Stones.
Oh my God. Okay. All right, I'm going to put us out of our pun misery with a product. In addition to being a trailblazer for gay marriage rights, this fine state of Massachusetts will also be legalizing weed, so I can finally open my store at Dorchester Pot. Hey, you bastards, come here, get high.
Hey, come on, it's medicinal.
I don't even care if you're queer. You want to get married? Come here, get high.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh man, this was a pretty juicy.
This was impressive and fun to do.
That's out of place artifacts for you in a really old, but maybe not, limestone nutshell.
And you know what I like about this one? Like, I feel like 99.999% of our podcast end with us kind of going, well, it's pretty much not true, but I guess we're not going to say that, so you can kind of believe it if you want. But I love this one because there is a verified crazy thing that happened.
Yeah.
And it makes you say that can happen, and hopefully we'll discover something that means it'll happen again.
Yeah. There's a lot of artifacts we didn't cover, too, just because of time.
Man.
But
yeah, Wikipedia that. Just go through the list.
There's a ton. Send us some puns of your own. You know, we gave you a lot of fodder in this one. So go on and send that to us. If there's something you want to hear about, hey, send us that too.
You know, I don't think we've pushed requests enough. Is there a thing that you think is cool that you'd like to hear us blib-blab about?
Yeah, something off the beaten path, maybe. Not just Squatch or Nessie. Yeah. Not some of the heavy hitters.
I mean, you can go. Please ask for those things.
Well, you can ask for them.
Yeah, but don't wonder
when we never do them.
You know what we're into because we know what you're into.
That makes sense. But
we've been watching them through their windows quite a bit.
That's why it makes sense. Go ahead and follow us on the Twitters, blurry_photos. We don't clog that thing up with tweets.
No,
you should know. We're also on Facebook. Did you know that? Did you know we were on Facebook? You should like us because we're on Facebook, and it just takes a click.
Yeah,
and then you never have to hear from us. We don't post on there often either.
And also, tell your friends you're enjoying this.
Why not?
You know one of our giant I'd like to believe that they're 100 strong, but I only know confirmed one. Do you know that we have inordinately dedicated fans who are digitally stone silent? They say nothing. They lurk in the shadows.
Don't be afraid, guys. Speak up.
I'm going to go ahead and give a giant high five to my good friend Lolo Rocca.
Nice.
She knows who she is.
Nice.
She is not only an ardent listener of this podcast, but she does far more to promote it on a day-to-day basis than I do. So, high five, Rocca. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, and any little bit helps.
Mm-hmm.
We get pure pleasure delivering this stuff to you guys, as long as you guys want to hear it.
Which is also the sales phrase for Dorchester Pot. We get pure pleasure from delivering this to you guys. That's not even New England. I don't
know. Yeah, we've.
Don't let us talk for too long. It's not up to you, but I'm still blaming you.
And we have talked for too long, haven't we? Hey, yeah. I am the Baghdad Battery believing David Flora.
I am the lie that has been publicly disproven that claimed once to be Dave Stecco.
And this has been Blurry Photos. Thanks for listening, you guys. Now get out of here!
You!
Piss off!